Welcome to the Pagan Playground, week something 30. Cursing, binding, or banishing techniques. I wish, yes, sort of. Believe me, I have somebody who would get the black spot. You know, pirate lore, the black spot was pretty much, you're screwed. And I would love to be able to do that, and I don't. There's that sort of. I suppose it depends which camp you're in. It's like how many times you've murdered somebody in your head. It's like. Anywho, but I've never actually kind of, at least, been aware of, purposely like voodoo dolled anybody. Though the temptation is highly great. Binding I have done because, and that's part of the stuff I'm dealing now. And I don't. It's basically what I wanted to do is to keep certain people out of my path. You don't bother me, I don't bother you. And again, these are people that are who pretty much just give you the blue screen of death in your world. Just there to be. I can't even explain it. If you knew the situation, you'd understand. But these are people that just make you uncomfortable, that are just there to be unpleasant. So I think that maybe might be more of a, it's sort of a weird blend of binding and banishing, maybe. Basically, it was a spell to just keep these people away. Which didn't need to be where they were in the first place. It's like, I don't know you, why are you in this situation? You know, kind of like a busybody type thing. One of them is definitely a busybody. Knew more about you than you did. So, it's basically just to, clear a path. Just live your own lives and get the hell out of mine. So that's what that particular thing was, and there are a few things I did in that vein that, I'm not sure what a banishing technique precisely is. If it would be similar to, it'd be nice if I could banish people out of existence, but that'd be under cursing, wouldn't it? But, yeah, so, that's pretty much what I did, was basically did spell to kind of get people out of my path and out of the situations, and it's hard to explain without knowing the situation, but, as far as, and again, you kind of need to know specifically the situation. I don't think if you want if you form words into English, yes. If somebody's just sort of annoying you that day, maybe you might do like a quickie spell of like, similar to like, just get the hell out of my path. But if you're like, you've got a coworker you've kind of got to deal with that might be in your face all the time, where does like spell work end and, telling your boss? Where's that kind of, it's kind of a situation specific type of thing. Then again, it's open to interpretation. Cursing, I think, is just kind of stupid if you believe the threefold law, because it's like, you end up hurting you more than them, especially if they're kind of ignorant of the fact, and the way things are in this world now, it's like, I banish you. So, it's a tricky tightrope, I would say. Something, be very careful, know what you're doing, as best as one can, but yeah, get to the point where, if it's to the point where, spell work ain't gonna do it, call the authorities type of thing. So, yeah, those are my rambly, confused thoughts on cursing, binding, and banishing techniques. And I don't know if it was one of these questions, but I remember I was in school, and it was middle school, and it was almost kind of like my first spell, and I was kind of knowing where I am now, wondering, it's like, I wonder if she was pagan, even though it was a spell somehow to deal with Mother's particular thing that I disliked. It's just, again, you'd have to know the situation in the relationship. And it was like pouch of like ash I was supposed to put on her comb, and apparently it didn't work. But so I'm like, it was along those lines. So there was always that sort of my first spell type of thing. But anywho, whether that made sense or not, who knows? But thank you for watching. Do remember to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And do all the other things that I usually ask you to do. One sip of Long Island iced tea and apparently I go nuts. Anywho, blessed be.